Hello and welcome to Billy Ho Sports. Today's racing preview puts the spotlight back on Churchill Downs, my home track. This Saturday, June 1st, huge day of multiple stakes racing. State bred incentives, always a nice thing to have. Even the early races are pretty strong before we get up to the stakes races. The biggest, I guess, feature races would be probably the Grade 3 Shawnee Stakes, featuring those dynamic fillies, Wet Paint, Kijira, and Who's Your Filly. And let's see, we got race 10, which is the Grade 3 Blame Stakes, which is going to have some big time 4-year-olds and up. Trademark, Tappet Trice, horses of that nature. Today's show is going to focus on the first race, 6. The Arlington Stakes will be first up. Like I said, I'm going to release videos on all the stakes races separately, and then I'm going to create a playlist to put them all in there so you can find them more easily. So also what I'm going to do is start adding time codes to these videos so you can jump around from horse to horse if you like. Or if you want to go back and review the video, you can do so more easily. So just click that subscribe button, smash that like button also. And if you have any questions or hot takes, just leave them in the comments and I'll take a look and let's get it going. First thing, we do have to touch on the weather. We've had a lot of rain here in the month of May in Louisville. So this week is no exception. We had some pretty heavy weather on Monday or Sunday, I guess it's not so much Monday, but we did have a pretty heavy rain day. But we got all week to dry out. It is absolutely beautiful. I mean, I've got to get out and play some golf today or tomorrow or sometime soon. It is gorgeous out there right now. But of course, here comes Saturday. There is rain in the forecast. So if you want to handicap for slop, you can. It depends. We'll just keep track of the weather. Sometimes it'll move out. It could move later into the weekend and then we'll be fine. So let's get into it. Race 6 is the Arlington Stakes, going 1 1/16 on the turf. And I have to say, I've really grown to love turf racing this season. It's just, I love the turn of foot those horses show in the stretch run and everything. And I've gotten better at handicapping them, I guess, because I used to just be clueless several years back, but I've gotten a lot better at narrowing down the turf horses. So we're going to start with number 1, Ottoman Fleet, under the tutelage of the top rated trainer in the world, Charlie Appleby. Will break from the inside post. It's now 5 years old, making his second trip around the U.S. Ran a really good second place in the Grade 2 Fort Marcy at the Big A. That is Aqueduct. And he won the race in 2023. Probably should have repeated. He bobbled at the start, was able to recover, and once he settled down, he tracked a much slower pace, made a big move into the stretch to take the lead, but then he drifted out, allowing the inside horse to gain the advantage. He is the speed and the class of this race, will be the favorite. Flavian Pratt has the mount. Number 2 is Emmanuel. That's trained by Todd Pletcher, has Irad Ortiz aboard. A big-time horse, began his 5-year-old season by winning the Grade 3 Canadian Turf at Gulfstream Park. Then he stepped up to the Grade 1 Maker's Mark at Keeneland to take on the top of the class, going 1 mile on the Keeneland turf. Led for much of the way, but was swallowed up down the stretch by some really, really top of the line turf horses. Master of the Seas, blasted off down the stretch. He is like one of the best in the world as far as racing is concerned. Number 3, Smokin T, is trained by Shug McGahee and has Johnny V, John Velasquez, aboard. Enjoyed some success in his graded stakes races. His last race was the opening verse on Thurby at Churchill Downs. That was the feature race won by Carl Spackler. He had a little trouble in the turn, but did rally a bit to get up for the show. Johnny V is looking for some positive regression, as he's just, I believe, 1 win and 24 mounts in this meet. So he needs to start racking up some wins. Number 4, Stitched. Greg Foley trains, 5-year-old, making his second start of the season. He also ran in that opening verse on Thurby, didn't fare so well, finishing 7th. He was a surprise 46-1 winner in last year's Grade 2 Wise Dan at Ellis Park. Tyler Gaffleone is up. Probably not going to use that one. Number 5, Northern Invader, is trained by Sherry DeVoe. Jose Ortiz rides. 4-year-old Wired the field in a 120K allowance race at Keeneland on April 19th. Strong front end effort on a good rated turf. So just a little bit soft, going 8 furlongs, which would, might be similar turf that we see at Churchill Saturday. Was able to increase the lead in the stretch as well. So could be an interesting front runner if he gets out and on a loose lead. Number 6 is Chasing the Crown, 5-year-old making the jump in class for trainer Mike Maker. 1 in 100K allowance optional claimer. As an even money favorite, that was 8.5 furlongs on the Churchill Downs turf, May 9th. I had a perfect stalking trip and a close. Could be an underlay though at when recency bias, big speed figure, same track, same distance. So be on the lookout for that. Number 7, Harlan Estate, is a 6-year-old trained by Whit Bettman. Seems like a little long in the tooth, long in the shots department. So probably going to pass on that one. Number 8 is Irish Ashes. Brendan Walsh trains. Luis Saez rides. He did run decent versus some high-powered turfers. I'm very busy in Web Slinger in a Grade 2 Muniz Memorial Stakes at Fairgrounds Park. Has probably a shot to hit the board, but I don't see him winning the race. Let's cover the past performances real quick before we make our selections. So Churchill Downs turf, especially if it's soft or yielding, good, does favor more of the late closing type of horses. You can see this is just 9 races, but this is pretty much the norm. I prefer, especially soft and yielding, I prefer a closing style on most all turf surfaces. There are some that do favor more of a front end speed. Sometimes Keeneland does, sometimes Gulfstream does. Depends on how dry the turf is. I think I'm no turf expert, but it's just my own personal preference. But we can see Ottoman Fleet is if you look at Prime Power, you can see that Ottoman Fleet is a pretty good cut above the rest as far as that goes. So Northern Invader, I do believe, will like to get out to the lead along with Emmanuel. You can see Emmanuel has got a little pressing style too. Emmanuel got really good, strong class races and has had success in those graded stakes and whatnot. And obviously, Ottoman Fleet is Charlie Appleby, comes from overseas, so has won some races and is a pretty classy turfer. Smokin T, I think is maybe it's the 3rd listed in Prime Power, but like I said, jockey Johnny V's not having a good go of it. Shug McGahee not really having a good go of it either. Well, he's got some wins. He's got 6 wins and 10 starts, so he's doing pretty well actually in the win department. But I don't know about he really struggled in graded stakes previously. But I'm going to have some words for Smokin T when we make our selections. So the interesting one is Emmanuel. If he can press from off the pace, so he should do well. A little classier than Smokin T. And then the number 8, Irish Ashes, I believe. I'm not really hip on Stitched. Northern Invader, like I said, did run that 94 at Keeneland. Chasing the Crown. This was the big 97 effort right here. You can see the speed figures, drove clear on a good track, so that could be similar. Nice pressing style, so I'm definitely not counting them out. 2nd in Prime Power. And then Harlan Estate, gonna kick that one. But this one is kind of a I don't know, value play, long shot or whatever. Irish Aces. I believe I misspoke. I think I said Ashes, but it looks like it's Aces. So I must be just needing to adjust my glasses a little bit. My apologies. But nice running against some pretty good horses. and did have some success in the allowance company and a little bit here and there, but it's not really one that I'm going to be big on, but could maybe close to round out some exotics. If horses get tired on that soft turf, like I said, if we do get rain. So let's pop out of here and we'll run through one more time so you can get a good look at each horse's figures. I'll just go right nice and slow. If you want to grab you a screenshot, you're more than welcome. Northern Invader, like I said, is going to be the front end. Eligible Improve is stitched, but I don't see it. The speed's not there. There's Smokin T. Then we have Emmanuel. This is the one I think could challenge the number one horse, Ottoman Fleet, the most. So let's jump over to make our selections. Okay, if you see it in the background, this is in order of preference. I have the 1 on top, then I have the 2, 3, 5, and 6. The number 1, Ottoman Fleet, is going to be for the win. Then number 2, Emmanuel, like I said, has the next best shot. I think Chasing the Crown is going to be in there, Smokin T, and then Northern Invader will be out front and might have a chance to hold on in the end. So 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. You could probably key the 1 on top and then use the 2, 3, 5, and 6 underneath in a trifecta. Not a bad investment there. So that's going to cover the Arlington Stakes. Tune in for another June 1st stakes race at Churchill Downs coming soon. Thanks for watching. Till next time.